Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Sakana Vabadu, Sakana Punattu, Sakabiriam Karabhavahai, Tejasvina Nabidamastuma Vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Good morning. So just as this is the fourth session, so we'll have a very quick recap. I sent you whatever we discussed in a very brief format. So it will be useful if you have a glance through it, because you may forget over the week. So as we go on, we'll be building on that bit advanced so that we don't need to go back so much on what we talked about it. So anyway, but we will have a practice that may 5-10 minutes of quick recap what we saw through it. So our goal is to be happy in life, and we identified, it's a common sense that we need to be happy in everything that we do. But then we realize that it is not happiness just in this life, but also life here and after. Therefore, there is something called punya. Again, these all need to be taken in Shraddha. We'll come to that in a minute. So, the punya, which is dharma, artha, kama. The three purusharthas called prayas. So, we never need to be guilty about it to seek happiness in life, because we are born to be happy. As a starting point, this deha, we are Bhogatma. We are here to enjoy life. But we enjoy in a righteous way. Therefore, we have prayers as our objective. There's nothing not known so far. We're only finding new words. Like Mami asked me that I don't know much about Vedantam, what books to read. We can read the books, but it's much better not to know anything, because it is all completely new. It will just rephrase what we already know in a different context. So don't worry if it is not very clear right now, but it will be clear. So prayers is our lakshya in life. But then we realized this prayers is not blemish free. Dosha sakitaka. In everything we have, there's atrupti there. There is a dukkha there. For example, even the class is so interesting for many, but you may feel sad, oh, it may be end now. You see, even this happiness of the class has got a dukkha in it. So everything that you experience has got a misery attached to it. And it is binding. Even Satkarim is binding. Oh, Indiki, I have today pray, I do prayers, I didn't do prayers. So you get worried. You see? Even that is not freedom. So an absolute freedom is where you are completely free, guilt-free, knowing that you are in the right track. But that cannot happen without understanding the truth. Therefore, what is truth? That goal, that purushartham, dosha rahita purushartham, there is no blemish in it, is called Shreyas. So prayers is object to enjoyment. All the good things we do to enjoy life. Therefore, do not think just because I am going to Vedanta class, I will not enjoy anything in life. I'll be very boring, abstract, dull-witted. No. You enjoy everything, but you be on top of it. You be on control. Like just now Balaji was talking about poison, Vashuki, Visham. In Visham is called, in one word is Shri, in Sanskrit is called Visham. Shri got prosperity, jnanam. Shivan is called Shri Kantan. He got the Visham in his Kanda. Mahavishnu is lying on the snake itself, on the jnanam itself. So if you are in control, you can enjoy anything. The whole Bhagavad Gita, the whole epics is telling you, I've given you a wonderful life. Go and enjoy it. Don't feel guilty about it. But when you enjoy it, keep in mind that you are coming to me. So that is Shreyas. But then we understand all this is because of lack of understanding or ignorance in us. Therefore, we need knowledge So gone in the last class, we went into the kind of a etymological definition, what is knowledge. So without really toiling your brain, I'll just give you a little bits what we need to know. But when we actually discuss the text, whether it's Upanishad or Yoga Sutra, whatever we decide to take it, there we will go in detail. But right now, there are certain things that we must understand. So what is knowledge? So in simply, we can say, Yadartham Pramanam, that which conforms to truth is knowledge. Now this is the definition given by our scriptures. So this is not knowledge of just knowing, it's not just holding an information. Of course it is also knowledge. But having that which conforms to truth. But we have a problem here. We do not know what is truth is. Fact is not truth. I give an example. You are sitting in the garden and you see, or on the front end reception, you see a man running, a woman running, and a man is chasing her. And somebody asks you, did you see a man chasing a woman? You say, yes, I saw it. It's a fact. But is it a truth? Is it a man chasing the woman? Or they are running in circles? Or they are two different entities just happen to be together? We do not know. So fact is different from truth. So many times in this world, we talk about the fact. But that is not truth. That doesn't need to be truth. But fact is good enough in our life, but is not sufficient. Therefore, if you take knowledge is that which gives you, conforms to truth, then there's a corollary to it. What's the corollary? This cannot be negated. Abhakitam. Is it not? If it is truth, it cannot be negated. This is why scientific truth is not generally called truth, called scientific fact. Why? Because scientists know these facts can be negated. When more information comes in, more knowledge comes in. So we generally use the word scientific truth, but there is no scientific truth. There is scientific fact. Truth is one. Ekam Satyam. So, but we don't go into this so detail right now, but like take an objective knowledge, laukika knowledge. So let's use the word prama. Prama means the correct knowledge, which means a knowledge that will conform to truth, that which may not be negated. Okay? But can we actually get prama from the information we get straight away? Generally, yes, but not all the time. Because we may get incorrect knowledge first. It's called Brahma. See, you have to be very careful in the pronunciation. Prama is knowledge. Brahma, we say Brahmai. Brahmai. That is your perceived knowledge. It is incorrect. Please don't think as Brahma. It's not it's very careful in pronouncing it. Brahma. Brahma is incorrect knowledge. The whole difficulty in life is that we have Brahma, but we do not know it is a Brahma. We think it is Brahma. If Brahma is difficult to remember, you can call it Aprama. Okay, anything, if you add it, it becomes the opposite. Prama is right knowledge, Aprama is incorrect knowledge. But often we do not differentiate this. Why? Either because we are very egoistic, Either because we have some beliefs. You see, very important is, especially in Vedanta, in any satsang, in Shravanam, in Smriti, when you come to listen to, you don't come to listen to apprise the teacher, apprise the guy who speaks, whether he knows or not. You can do that afterwards. But normally what we do, we go and listen to something, some lectures, some talk, and in your mind you start comparing whether what is being told conform to what you already know or what you believe in it. If that conforms to your knowledge, we say he's a good speaker. Is it not? This is where we miss out. We have to be empty. Nirvana is not being naked in dress, but naked in mind. Bhagavan says to Arjuna, when you want to listen to, empty your mind. But you don't lose anything. Because we don't empty the mind, we take the fact as the aprama. But then when you analyze, that's when satsangam comes in. Somebody says, no, it is not like that, this is like this. Then you create samsaya. Oh, there is a doubt. Maybe it is not like this. Maybe it is like this. Therefore, you need, again, tools to provoke samsaya in doubts. Therefore, doubt is a gift. Please do not think, I have so much of doubt, I don't know. That's a good thing, because if you have doubt, you are not holding on to aprama. You are not holding on to wrong knowledge. You are opening up. So please always think having doubt is a blissful nature. But you need to do something with this. You need to go find so that this errors in it, vipraya, things that are really taking you away from this. But then you can, of course, manage it. For example, the sun rises in the east. Is it not a fact? Everybody knows it. Sun rises in the east. Therefore, we take it as not Brahma, but Prama. But then when you study, you understand, sun never rises, never sets. So what happened now? Sun is always there. The fact that you saw before, which is very useful in your life, this is not incorrect knowledge, but it's not conforming to truth. Do you understand the difference? It may not be incorrect, it's a fact, but it is not conforming to truth. So the sun doesn't rise, doesn't set. Sun is always there. That is Satyam. That is Prama. But sun rises in the east. It's a very convenient fact that I want to use in the life. We need both. The one that you use to manipulate the truth as a fact in life, so that dharma can go, the Jagat Chakram can go, is called rhythm. Satyam vadishyami, rhythm vadishyami. Satyam is truth. Rhythm is the interpretation of truth to manage dharma. But there is a difference. You will have the rhythm work for you well if you only know there's Satyam behind it. Because then you are not dealing with lie. When you are an adult person, knows physics and science, you know sun doesn't rises, but you still worship Sandhya Vandanam at the sunrise. You are dealing with a mithya, you're dealing with an apparent reality, an important reality, convenient reality. Do you understand the difference of using Prama to derive truth? Then we saw very quickly in the last session, this got three things, triputis. So we are going to be in a knowledge yearning process. Therefore, to learn something, to know something, there must be an object of knowledge. Then to the one that knows is Pramata, who's I am or you. The process of knowing, the act of knowing, the instrument that gives you the knowledge is called Pramana. Now, why are we talking all this? What has it got to do with Vedanta? Because the knowledge we are going to get, if it is to conform to truth, how do you know that it conforms to truth? You need to validate, right? Any truth has to be validated, is it not? Therefore, if I am going to learn a truth, I must know how I am going to validate. Remember, in our Sanatana Dharma, nothing is accepted unless we validate. Therefore, it is very important we have the instrument of knowledge as well as the tools to understand that they are valid. So what are the key types of pramanas? So when I say pramana, these are the tools of knowledge and tools for validation. They are different words, but we know all this, common sense. First one is called pratyaksha. Aksha means eye. Pratyaksha, in front of the eyes. But eyes is just an adi. Eyes, ears, smelling, all the senses that you have. I can close my eyes and smell of a sweet in the kitchen gives me the knowledge about that. So the pratyakshan is the direct knowledge of something that you see from your senses. Perception. I think there's no doubt on this. I will not dwell on it. There are some flaws in it. And when we go and study the Vedantas, when you study the Vakyas, then I will come back to this concept and say why this pratyaksham doesn't help them. But one point you must remember, the Vyakaranam, the grammar of Pramana is so deep, so I don't want to really take into that quagmire right now. Pramana, can I smell from my eyes? Can I eat from my ears? No. They are all given one specific focus. Therefore, the lakshana of a pramana, therefore, is that which gives you one singular focused knowledge. So like that, you will have a number of pramanas, characters for these pramanas. But then there's another kind of knowledge we get. Anumana, inference. So I will be using examples which are very trivial, but which are mandated by the Vedas, that when anybody, even very low knowledge people like me, even talk about to somebody else, I cannot give an example which is new. I should use only examples that is given in Vedas. They are very trivial, simple examples, but they're also very profound and deep. So Anumana, to explain Anumana, one of the examples is about smoke in a mountain. At some stage when we discuss Tattvarthams, we will go into that very deep. But right now, you see a smoke somewhere in the mountain, then you will think, okay, there is a fire. Is it not? Now, it could be a Brahma, because if you can put a lot of inferences to that, it is a fire. Or it could be a Brahma. But definitely there's a knowledge you derive. You did not see the fire, but you say it is fire. is because you already know when there is a smoke, there is a fire. How do you know that there is a smoke, there is a fire? Because you have seen in the kitchen, not in today's kitchen. Today's kitchen is all a smoke-free kitchen. Maybe in a yagya somewhere you see, when the fire is there, a smoke comes out. Therefore, you know when there is fire, smoke comes out. Therefore, there's a pratyaksha pramana has been already given you some information. So, inference is using a previous knowledge and using the current pramana, current pratyaksha knowledge, and combining it to create a new knowledge. It looks complicated. It's just simply anumanam you do every day, guesstimating it. I see here the voice. This voice sounds like Balaji or Raja or something like that, because you heard this before. This is anumana. But you must always remember, anumana cannot be guaranteed. It is prama. We take it. There is a derivation of anumana. There are 3 more there, and they are very complicated. But I will not go there. We don't need it right now. But can we use these pramanas which are given to us? We are only given these 2, for example. Use your senses, understand. Use your mind to derive. Is it good enough for us? It's not good enough for us. We don't even know many things. We don't even know that we have a back. Nobody can see your back. You can't see your back. Nobody can see what's going inside your body. Nobody can see what is a microcellular organism do. Therefore, the pratyaksham and inference anumana are necessary but not sufficient, because you need something else. What is that? You read from books, you read from newspapers. But I'm still using my eyes to read a book. I hear your voice. Is it a pratyaksham? No. Eyes bring the vision. Ears bring the sound. But the meaning comes from the verbal, the words. That's why they said Shabda Pramanam, verbal authority. Just take a 1 minute on this. Shabdam is generally noise. So when the ears hear a noise and then you conclude from your anumanam it is thunder, that is Shabda, that is not Shabda Pramanam. That's a Pratyaksha Pramanam and Anumana Pramanam. You're using your ears to hear the noise. There's no artha in it. Then you know noise is related to thunder from your inference. But if it is put in words and a meaning to it, it's called verbal authority. As we evolve in our life, more and more and more knowledge is needed from the verbal authorities. We read the newspaper, coronavirus, we had all this WhatsApp news. That's your knowledge. You don't see those things. You take it as knowledge. But how do we corroborate this and how do you know it's valid? Therefore, you must go and look for Aptavakya. Verbal authority. Authority is a very important word. Those from whom you hear words and they give you comfort that it will be in truth or knowledge, that is Shabda Pramanam, Aptavakya Pramanam. Like for a child, mother's or father's word is a Pramanam. Because they know, child knows, mother will always give thing that is good, hitam and priyam. A teacher always gives the right thing. But there is a difference though. Because to take somebody's words, you need Shraddha. So I keep on laboring this point because I will stop laboring it in subsequent classes. Shraddha is the most important requirement to have Brahma, to get the correct knowledge, to confirm Brahma, to validate the correct knowledge. Is Shraddha the faith, the Vishwas? No. See, faith is something where to validate, you take a Pratyaksha Pramana as a tool. See, somebody says, look, this fruit is very sweet. You buy it. And you buy with the belief that it will be very sweet. How do you prove it? You eat it. Pratyaksha Pramana, you eat it. You know that it is right or wrong. So that Prama, that mango is sweet, become a Brahma, incorrect knowledge, because you ate it, the faith is gone. Shraddha is not that. Shraddha is needed where the knowledge that you're going to get cannot be sourced from Pratyaksha Pramana, cannot be sourced from Anumana Pramana, therefore cannot be validated by this Pramana. We have no choice. There is knowledge which cannot be seen in the five senses, cannot be inferred from this. And therefore, how do I go about learning this? You use what's called Shraddha. Shraddha is not just a character given to you. It's not like he's a fair person, black person. No, it's Shraddha person. No. Shraddha is not a guna. Shraddha is the vidya. It has to be acquired. It's like a dravyam. You need to develop Shraddha. You need to work for Shraddha. You must acquire Shraddha. Like when you want to go into the skiing, you need two sides. When you go to pray, you need bhakti and Shraddha. When you go to learn it, you need viveka and vairagya with Shraddha. So Shraddha is the confirmation that you are committed to learn something from the verbal authority, knowing that to validate that you only have to depend on the Shraddha. It sounds a bit woolly, is it not? If I cannot validate, how can I call it a true knowledge? You can validate. But that validation will happen within you, which you cannot prove it objectively to others. Therefore, there is a validation process. You are not allowed to accept Vedanta unless you validate it. And the validation is within you. Therefore, all this study of scriptures, all this understanding of knowledge is just a Brahma unless you validate into a Brahma. The validation happens in you. For example, this happens also in Pratyaksha Pramana. You say sugar is sweet. So you give me sugar. I never seen sugar before. Or I am a child, you give it me sugar. Eat sugar. This is sweet. I eat the sugar. Do I feel sweetness in my tongue? No. I feel something in my tongue. And you name it sweet. Then as a child, I know that is sweet. The sweetness that you experience in your mouth cannot be experienced by me. You understand? But therefore, I take sweetness from your verbal authority. So we always have this internal experience to validate what we have, but we are very shy to accept it because our ego comes in picture. It is not told by the MIT or the Cambridge lab, or it's not been dissected into a scientific paper. It's not been objectively proven. Even science tell you that scientific fact can be objectively proven. Truth has to be realized. So therefore, what this slide shows you, we'll not come back to this again. From now on, we go with the tool of Shraddha. Doubts will come, accumulate the doubts. You'll clarify the doubts. You take a continuous process called Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. What they are, we will understand. There are 3 simple exercises to understand the truth very easily. Now, next question is, we need something to help in this. So now we come to look for verbal authority, because that's what we know as a pramanam we need. The verbal authority is Shastra. Sasanane idi Shastra. That which instructs is Shastra. That which directs is Shastra. Not the Balaji just now mentioned about Shastra. Shastra is different. It's Shastra. Vedas our Shastra. Forgive me if I tell you something which is very common, you know it, but I just want to connect to the context of it. You know that Julius Caesar, a famous statement? Veni, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Vidi, the Latin word. Vid, the root is to know. Vidi, to know. So Vedas is to know. Very, very clearly, therefore, the pramanam we are looking for, to know, is exactly the root word for Veda, to give you that what you want to know. So Vedas, so in everything in Sanskrit, of course in all good languages, every word has got a meaning, why it came. So Vedas is to give you the knowledge that you seek. But how do we make sure that this knowledge is acceptable to us? Because it's acceptable, it is not coming from your pratyaksha pramanam or anumana pramanam. It's not coming from man or woman, because we are all blemishful. It comes from aparushaya. It comes beyond human beings, from Veda, from God. Mind will now tell you, how do you prove it? How can there be, I never seen God, how can there be God's words? I give a simple example. This talk that we are currently having, the words that I speak or the words that you speak, never die. If you know physics, it just travels. It goes in the media, it's a sinusoidal wave, it just goes, decays, but it always travels. If somebody got a fantastic tuner, a transcoder, a receiver, radio receiver, and tune it to this frequency, which is on a very low decibels, low frequency, they can hear it. The whole prapancham, this whole thing is radiating with this noise. If you're on the television, you see this dots coming around everywhere. When you sit down there, you can't see absolute silence. You'll see noises. The noise is all that is contained in the prapancham. Everything is translated into noise, to nadam. It's called nada brahma. So when the radio receives it, can the radio say, this is what I made, this poetry is what I made now? Can the radio say that? No. It's just a transcoder, just picked up the signals from the air and relay this. To be honest with you, every idea, every innovation, everything that comes out of your mind is not from you, not from me. If I write a poetry, it is not I write the poetry. It is somewhere there it comes to me. Therefore, one cannot take credit for anything that you do in life. How? So our only job is to make sure the instrument receives it, becomes pure. Therefore, you are able to receive everything. Those who receive those things, who can see, is called the seers. When you argue something, you say, can you see the point? You say, see the point. What it means that, can you not understand this knowledge? Those who see is the seers. Drishta, rishis. So the rishis realize those words, mantras. It's called aparushaya. So this is important to understand, because for the shraddha which is required on you, you need a guarantee that what you are hearing is not man-made blemish. So you are now guaranteed is aparushaya. But then, what is a guarantee that it is maintained with that pristine order? Because man is involved. The moment, when I say men, include women as well, when we get involved, we corrupt things, we change things. So if it is so traditional thing, Vedas are knowledge, everybody is getting involved, what guarantee that it is not corrupted now? It may be, it could be. But that's why there is a tradition is called Shruti. It is to be transmitted exactly like what the radio does it, receives from the air, receives through the Akash, listen. So even though it's a verbal authority, instead of reading from a book, listen. But how we should listen to it, what language it should come from. Therefore, you need a language, a medium, which is pure, immune to all distortions. That's a Deva Bhasha. But when it came out into noises, into mantras or bijams, vakyas, padas and vakyas, it needed certain discipline. Kritam is proper. Sanskritam, absolutely properly coded, structured. A language is needed. That is why that language is, I don't really mind if people say why it is not being a conversational language. I really pray it doesn't need to be a conversational language. It could be, it should be, but that is not limitation on it, because it is a language to carry this Shruti. That's why it needs to be practiced, adhyayanam has to be done, and it has to be preached. So when Balaji teaches the Bhagavad Gita, the words are very important. It doesn't matter, you can understand the meaning. Anything that you say, you go through it. Again, I come back to Shraddha. So in the subsequent lessons, when Veda is quoted, this is one of the reasons why, when you go to Tattva Vichara, when all these great seers seemingly fighting, they are not fighting, but seemingly fighting, Shankara or Ramanuja or Madhva, they were only bringing a different way of looking the same Vedas, but the Shraddha is never moved. But we can't understand this. So can we have a secondary lesson? Again, those who understand Veda remember those things and then brought out a text. It's called Smriti. Smritis are the import of Veda, but transcoded in such in language, such in text, so that it gives you a specific understanding. There are lots of smritis. Manusmriti, Atrismriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, Abhastamba Smriti. Even Bhagavad Gita alone is taken as a a Mahasmriti. Smritis give you Vedic knowledge. Therefore, if you read a Smriti, you are as good as reading, understanding Vedas. So Vedas is a very big ocean, so that you can't just say, okay, tomorrow I'm starting Vedas, I want to finish it off this birth. No, you can never do it. So we can take steps which will make it comfortable. Smriti is one. Even then the Smritis are all instructional. Can we not have something which is not instructional? Nobody likes instruction. Nobody likes when you say, do this. Even children don't like it. Even our partners don't like it. Is it not? Therefore, instead of directing it, you give guidance. So guidance can be given by giving itihasa. Itihasa. This happened. Itihasa means this how happened. Basically history. But you can't take any history. To show a history which brings the Vedic import, you need the history of the supreme beings. So there are two histories. One is Ramayana, other one is Mahabharata. Again, it is not about their life. Ramayana, Ayanam means path. It's not life. Ramayana is not Rama's life. It is the path that Rama takes. Uttarayanam, Dakshinayanam. In Tamil we say Payanam. The Ayanam means the path that you tread. So when you read Ramayana, of course we should read Ramayana for all this poetic beauty which I think eloquently Balaji put, which is very important. But the import is Rama's conduct in life. Why that is important? What has it got to do with Veda? Because he followed Dharma, which means Dharma becomes part of Veda. Therefore, to understand Veda, which gives Dharma, I understand Rama and Rama's conduct. Therefore, I read Itihasa. Therefore, to entice you and me, there's a Itihasa TV serial, books, cinemas. We slowly take your mind towards that. Same is Mahabharata. It gives you a lot more. It's even called a Panchaveda, the fifth Veda, because it gives you the jnana part of the. Of course, Dharma is gone, but if Dharma is a testing, you need jnana to overcome that. So jnana comes in Mahabharata. So there's two Itihasas then. So therefore, when you go to Ramayana lectures, Mahabharata lectures, Bhagavad Gita lectures, you are having a glimpse of the Vedanta. It's only Vedanta Darshana. Even then, that is not interesting to us, because why should I read somebody's life? Okay. I give you some interesting Puranas, mythological stories, woven with the history and truth. The word Purana comes from Pura Navi, Navam Abhi, or Pura Abhinavam. Pura means something which is ancient, old. Navam means new, modern. Abhi means even then. Even though it is old, it contains new. Very interesting, isn't it? Puranas, we always say, oh, that's Purana Kalam, that's an old story. No. It may be old, but it is still giving you something very fresh. What can be fresh forever? Only truth can be fresh forever. Nothing else can be fresh. Modern algebra I studied in 1970s is no more modern. It's gone. Of course, it still carries the name modern algebra. Everything in objective knowledge will change. Nothing can be new. But Puranam says, even though it's old, it gives something new. So it could be only truth. If it is truth, it should be only from the Vedas. Therefore, Puranam is therefore giving you nothing but Vedas. Therefore, if I read the Puranam, I get very unbelievable things. Ashura comes with 200 hands and flying on the air. But don't you read Harry Potter? enticing you. But that is not the point. Even then that could be true. There are a lot of people arguing that why Puranas are foreseeing future. We are not foreseeing future because it is telling you the Veda truth. The truth is Aham Satyam. You are that Satyam. Therefore your imagination will become true. This is a great insight in what this is being said just now. When you read a futuristic novel, a book, or a fiction which gives you the future, and when you strongly believe in it, it happens. The collective thinking is the sankalpam, is what you see. That is why they say Satyam Vada, Hitam Vada. Say good things, think good things. If you collectively think bad things, the bad thing will happen. You can think of, everybody thinks of a speaking snake walking along and creating havoc as a fiction. Believe it will happen. Because imagination is a seed of manifestation. This is Maya. So therefore, we will not go into that right now. So Puranam, even if somebody ridicule it, first it doesn't matter. Read it even for the fun of it. But look for what is that is truth in it. If you take anything, Satyavan, Savitri, Nalini, any story you take, only to make us realize this, in our culture we have a lot of festivities, functions, each associated with a Purana. When you do Karade or Nombu, they read Satyavan Savitri Purana. So our ego comes in. Oh, there is a Savitri who carried the husband. Who will carry the husband these days? You don't care. You miss the point. The point is that when you read that, she conquers death. She extends the time, prolongs the time. Unbelievable, right? As Shraddha comes in. Time is basically a concept of mind. When you listen to this, for example, if it's interesting to you, the 45 minutes allocated time might have gone by now. But you may be enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it, it'll be boring for the last 3 hours. This time is your mind. That's what the truth comes in Satyavan Savitri story. So like that, so the Smriti, Itikasa, Purana are all given for us. So, but what is the Veda Saram? Balaji, how am I doing on time?
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. We go to some logical points.
Okay. What's the time now?
11:50.
Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes maybe. So the Veda Saram, what is the Veda Saram? So I'm not going to tell you what you already know. Veda Vyasa was the one compiled. Vyasa means one who compiles. Veda was there. It's not Veda Vyasa did not create Vedas. It's all already existing. He just compiled it into 3 and then 4. It gives you Saha. It contains the Sanhitas and Brahmanas and Haranyas and Upanishads and all that. But all that you can pick up from the books and internet. But the point is, what does the Veda gives you? It gives you the karma, because we know for the prayers, for achieving objectives in life, we should do action. The action is karma. But we know that some actions are creating problems for us. Some actions only create goodness. So what karma to do, what karma not to do. And also if I do karma, I get papa and punyas. They affect me. How do I do this karma without papa, punya affecting me? And all that has to be given in the Vedasara. That is karma kanda. It's like kind of a God, after creating the human beings and the world, He's given you, like, if you buy a washing machine, the manufacturer send you the booklet how to use the washing machine. That's why Karmakanda has given you the instruction manual. I've given you the jagat. I've given you all the faculties. Use them to do things. So that is needed for the prayas, pravrittinishta. But our goal is to get beyond that, to get the knowledge, the truth. It's called jnana. Again, jnana, like dharma, has got lots of meaning. I can't say intellect or wisdom, but I'm going to use the word jnana, but I'll tell you the context, what it means. So here jnana means that prama, the satyam, the truth that we need to know. It gives that one. So we can therefore logically split this into two parts. Veda Purva, which gives you about karma, and the Veda Anda or Vedanta gives you the jnana. It's not like a chapter heading and a book slice somewhere and you open it and it puts in two parts. No. It's logically bring together the two aspects of it. But again, how does Veda can give you what action to do? We have so many actions. For example, today I need to go to Tesco and buy some milk. It's an action I do. It's my nitya karma. Does the Veda talks about it? Our objectives are different. How can Vedas give us what actions to do? Because Vedas for the whole humanity is not bothered about your microcosmic actions. It takes all the actions and put them into different groups and give you the common denominator. Like a language. Language creates letters. It doesn't create words, it doesn't create sentences. It gives you the rules of the words, letters. You create words, you create sentences, you create novels, you create epics. Same way Vedas gives you the fundamentals of what karmas, karma attributes, and you build your life. For that, it first talks about karmas we do karmas with only three things. Can you believe it? All the actions that you do, no matter what it is that you've done, you're planning to do today, you're going to do tomorrow, will fall into three of your faculties. One is your body, cutting with your hand, cooking, kicking, all kind of stuff you do with your physical body. Second, with your mouth, speech, sound, vachikam. The third, with your mind. Of course, all three come together. A very good karma is where all three are together. But you may be wondering why the speech is shown as separate karma, not as a body itself. Because after all, we speak from the body. Why is it different? It is different because the Shabda has got a very, because it is, for example, I can take a child. I'll give an example here. A child is just born. But what does it do when she wants food? Cry. Noise comes out of it. Something is fed. Everything, it'll control your life just making noise. It can only do vachi karma. It can't go get up and do something. The body is completely useless for it. Only the noise that comes out of it. Same way, without doing your body, your mind, your words can have tremendous impact. The purvam, vakyam is the purvam. So, no, that's why only human beings can speak. It's a very special privilege. So you do karma. So for example, if I say some word hurting you, I've done a papa karma. I've done the action of saying those words, papa karma. Even if I don't even say that, but I think in your mind that some ill will to you, I do a papa karma. So the karma kanta gives you all the karmas that you should do For example, you do Sandhyavandanam, you do Japam, you do this Yajnam, you do this Homam, you do these rituals. The Manasa Karma are done by mind. So Manasa Karma is also given in the Vedas. It is in the Bhagavan's, in Krishna's view, it is the interlude between karma to jnana. It's called Upasana Kanda. If you need to really split logically, Upasana Kanda. Where you are enough of this karma, your mind is now ready, and you start upasanas to purify your mind. Why you have to purify the mind? Because to attain the jnana, you need a pure mind. It's called a Chitta Shuddhi and Siddha Pragyam, or resolute intellect. A focused mind, focused knowledge you need. Like Shraddha, these are not gunas, it doesn't come to you by birth. It is nurtured, it is cultivated. Therefore, you need to do exercises to do good karma, exercises to do good upasana, and to get the jnana. Of course, there are, just to complete this, there are also other parts of Shastras called Vedangas. Anga means part, Vedangas are the parts of Veda. They are either separate text by itself, or they are only part of this Veda. Like Shiksha. Like in Vedas, in Aranyakas, in Brahmana, it's a Shikshavalli. It's about pronunciation, phonetics. Why it is important? As I told you before, to preserve the purity of what is received from God, you need the language which is pure, and you pronounce it purely. So when you want to say the mantras, it's okay when you make a mistake in slogas and everything, but when you talk about the mantras, you must strive hard to pronounce it well. Siksha provides you that. And when you pronounce it, to give you the resonance to go with the line of your heart. See, Yoga Shastra, when you learn Yoga Shastra, you will know it. The way you breathe, the rhythm of your breathing, which is basically the modulation, pulse and speed and pace, decides your thoughts and your action. Believe me, if you have a long, deep breathing, suddenly you will see your pressure goes down. It will be very difficult to do initially. But when you practice it even 2-3 minutes a day, you get stunned as if there's nothing happening. So, to have the breathing proper, when the breathing is proper, there are many ways to bring the breathing to proper. Chandam is one thing. Raga. Why do we listen to, say when you listen to all the bhajans and shastras and everything, it's nice to listen to the music. It's beautiful to listen. But if you just listen for the pleasure of it, it's just sakama purushartha. When the bhajanosam happens, everybody's singing, it just makes you so happy. But if you really look at it, precise happiness, it brings you layam. You become fulfilled. You become fulfilled because your pressure goes down, your breathing comes out. There's a chandam there, the poetic meter, the prosody. That's why it's very important whenever you recite mantrams, slogans, where possible, sing in prosody with meter or listen to this. But to make this siksha and chanda sit in place, you need rules. That's vyakarna, grammar. Do I have to learn grammar? Ideally you could, but you don't need to learn grammar, but follow how it is said. When you follow the chandas, when you follow the siksha, you already follow the grammar. So when you drive the car, you really don't look for the signals anymore. You know it in your mind. When you play the tennis, the backhand comes naturally. The rules are engaged in you. You don't remember the rules. But you need Vyakarna. Then you have Nirukta. Nirukta is about, okay, I know all this. How do I actually do the discipline of this? Yeah, I finish in a couple of minutes. Then you have this Kalpa, you have Jyotisha. We are not going to talk about all these things. Vedangas is only for knowledge. So what we have concluded is Shraddha is important. Vedas are pramanams. We will not question the Vedas, but we will actually validate what we are learning. The validation happens within us. Therefore, we should start really making everything goes inside into our experience. I will therefore listen to this with Shraddha, understand the knowledge, understand how I go into validate myself. So in the next session, we will take this further and then say, how does Veda gives the knowledge? How we take the part of Veda for the Vedanta, and then what are the texts we are going to read in detail. So I expect maybe 1 or 2 sessions, if you go in the same pace, we would come to a introductory session, and then we go into a text part. Thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, Balaji. I transfer to you.
Thank you very much, Raja. It was a very nice session, and I think we were not even knowing the passage of time. It was so interesting. Particularly the bird's eye view of all of the Shastra, all the components, you put it in one single diagram, so it is so very useful and so very conceptual. So thank you very much. Now we'll finish with the last Upanishad. Asato ma sadgamaya.
Sudoma Shadgamaya. Samadoma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you very much, and once again thank Mitra Seva and Raj.
Hello,